Hello friends, welcome to the lecture on reservoir planning. In today's lecture, we will start the discussion about reservoir, various terminologies associated with reservoir and what are the requirements for proper planning of reservoir. So let us start. Water storage reservoirs may be created by constructing a dam across a river along with suitable appurtenant structures. Here, one thing we should notice that a dam and a reservoir are different things. Whenever we construct a dam, the resultant structures, the resultant structure, it may be called as a reservoir which stores or which holds the water. Reservoirs are also meant to absorb a part of flood water and the excess is discharged through a spillway. As of now, we know that spillway is a structure which allows the excess water from the reservoir to be expelled out. These are the basic reservoir types. First is the impounding reservoir and second is the service reservoir or the balancing reservoir. So what is impounding reservoirs? Impounding reservoirs are those into which a river flows naturally. Impounding or storage reservoirs are intended to accumulate a part of flood flow of the river for use during the non-flood months. And service or balancing reservoirs are those which receiving the supplies that are pumped or channeled into them artificially. These are relatively small in volume because the storage required by them is to balance flows for a few hours or a few days at the most. For proper planning of the reservoirs, we need to go through some investigations which broadly includes engineering surveys, geological investigations and hydrological investigations. Out of these, engineering surveys are carried out for construction of a dam. They are conducted for dam, reservoir and other associated with work. Topographic survey of the area is carried out and the contour plan is prepared. To know the elevations, to know the contours, the topographic survey is done so as to estimate the capacity of the reservoir. The horizontal control is usually provided by and triangulation survey, and the vertical control is by precise leveling. In geological investigations of the dam and reservoir site are done for the following purposes: for checking out the suitability of the foundation of the dam. As we know that for foundation of the dam, it requires special requirements like it should be leak proof. The rock which is available, it should not be at very much deeper depth so as to reduce the cost of foundation. It should be available at somewhat shallow depth. It should be watertight. It should be sturdy enough. So for getting the site proper site of construction of a dam, you have to go through this geological investigation to check the suitability of foundation for the dam. Then water tightness of the reservoir basin. Entire reservoir basin should be watertight because the purpose of reservoir basin is to store water for its intended use in further months where there is no natural flow due to precipitation. So as far as possible, the basin should be watertight. Means what? The strata available inside the basin should not allow the water to percolate. It should not allow the water to infiltrate in major quantities. Generally, it will be achieved when there are formations of rocks in the reservoir basins, which do not have faults and fissures, which are watertight. Then the location of the quarry site for the construction of material. If it is near, then the construction cost will be reduced because for the hauling of the material, for conveyance of the material, the transportation cost will be less in that case. And lastly, the hydrological investigations, which is one of the most important part of dam construction or reservoir planning. The hydrological investigations are conducted for the following purposes: to study the runoff pattern and storage capacity. Until and unless you know the runoff pattern and storage capacity, you cannot efficiently plan any reservoir or any dam site. And second is to determine the maximum discharge at the site. It is required to know how much quantity of water can be an inflow into the reservoir. For site selection, one must consider following parameters while planning a reservoir. A reservoir should be constructed, a dam should be constructed to form a reservoir where it will give a large storage capacity. If you are having multiple options for site selection, then definitely one should go with the large storage capacity of the reservoir. River valley should be narrow, length of the dam constructed is less. River valley should be narrow. Why it should be narrow? Because ultimately when the valley will be narrow, then the dam length will be less and it will result in low cost. And moreover, it has other benefits also, like in terms of forces, in terms of thrust, which is due to the available water. The horizontal forces which are pushing the dam will be less in that case. Water tightness of the reservoir. The reservoir should be watertight so as to minimize the leakage and the intended use to store water. It should be achieved. Then good hydrological conditions means what? All the tributaries channels should uh, provide the maximum amount of discharge into your reservoir. There should be plenty of water availability during the monsoon. These hydrological conditions prevailing to any reservoir are necessary. Then deep reservoir, as and when we call a reservoir, it has a wide spread. Also, it has a depth. So as more storage is required, the reservoir should be deep enough. It has a certain advantages also. When we call a deep reservoir, it will not allow the water to evaporate in much more quantities as compared to the reservoirs which are not deeper. Then small submerged area. So whenever we construct a dam and thereby in turn it results into a reservoir, it submerges some area. Means what? The locality is, it is affected. The people residing over there, um, they have to be shifted. So the quantum of area should be less, submerged area should be less, so as to avoid the loss of properties. Then low silt inflow. It is very harmful when silt is there inside a reservoir. Then it accumulates and it creates a layer, and thereby the capacity of reservoir it reduces. Then no objectionable mineral should be present at the dam site. Then low cost of real estate, as already we have discussed that the submerged area should be less. Also, the cost of real estate on the site should be less, so as to uh, government has to compensate this cost. Government has to pay while acquiring the areas from people. Government has to pay the cost to the people. So the cost of real estate should be as less as possible while selecting a dam site. Then site should be easily accessible so as to make the construction proper and maintenance proper. Now we will talk about the various reservoir levels. Before that, have a look at this particular figure. This is a schematic diagram showing the storage zones. This is a typical reservoir in which you can see various levels are there. So we will talk about these levels. This is the maximum water level. Just look at this. This is just below the top of the dam, maximum water level. This is the FRL, that is full reservoir level. This is the spillway crest level shown by the dotted line. This is MDDL, that is minimum drawdown level. This is dead storage level shown here. Above MDDL up to the full reservoir level, the capacity of the dam, it is called as the active storage capacity. Why it is called as active storage capacity? Because this portion of water, this volume of water, it is being utilized for various purposes like electricity generation, navigation, all those things. And below this, whatever the capacity of dam it is there, it is called as inactive storage capacity, which doesn't take part into these kind of actions like hydroelectric power generation and all those. So let us have a look at these different levels. Full reservoir level. This is the full reservoir level. It is the level corresponding to the storage which includes both inactive and active storages and also the flood storage if provided for. So this FRL includes active as well as inactive storage. The total depth of active and inactive storage, it is there inside the FRL, that is full reservoir level. If provided, the flood storage is also taken into consideration into this FRL. In fact, this is the highest reservoir level that can be maintained without spillway discharge or without passing water downstream through the sluice ways. This is the highest level that can be maintained. FRL is the highest water level that can be maintained without allowing the water to discharge from the spillway. Means what? Easily you can store the water up to this maximum level without any harm. Then the minimum drawdown level, MDDL. This is the MDDL, minimum drawdown level. It is the level below which the reservoir will not be drawn down so as to maintain a minimum head required in power projects. Below this level, you will not draw down, you will not allow the water to be extracted so as to ensure that a minimum head can be maintained for the hydroelectric power generation for the power projects. Then the dead storage level, that is DSL, which is shown here, dead storage level. Below the level, there are no outlets to drain the water in the reservoir by gravity. As you can see that below this level, there are no outlets to take out the water from the reservoir with gravitational force. Then the maximum water level, MWL, it is the highest level, maximum water level. It is above the FRL, maximum water level. This is the water level that is likely to be attained during the passage of design flood. If highest flood occurs, then you can see sometimes the maximum water level can be achieved in duration of the flood. It depends upon the specified initial reservoir level and the spillway gate operation rule. If the initial reservoir level is high and spillway gates are not opened, then the water will accumulate into the reservoir and thereby you can see this maximum water level. Generally, after this, the water is allowed to pass through the sluiceways or the spillways so as to minimize the burden on the dam. This level is also called sometimes as the highest reservoir level or the highest flood level, HFL. So I hope you have understood these different kinds of levels with respect to the dam. I request all of you to go through these standard reference books. If you are having any doubt, you can ask me on my email address dnpaitankar@sanjeevani.org.in. Thank you for listening. Happy learning.